Oh, we got Gold Rush. Oh, we got this new court. Oh, we got that new court. Oh, we got Pro-Am 3v3. Oh, we got, and they throw in all this other stuff to mask that, right? But here's the problem, right? When all of that is looked at, all of that goes, right? Because we're going to see all of that within the first week. We're going to see the seasonal changes and all that type of stuff. When all of that gets looked at, the end of the product is your game, your gameplay value. YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Vade, Vade Nation on top if you didn't already know. And today we're going to be discussing the age-old question that everybody always asks during this time of the year. And it's literally, is NBA 2K going to be a good game this year? And a lot of us don't even really know if it's going to be good, but we just buy it anyway. But today we're going to do a deep dive and actually determine if we think this game will be a good game this year. But before we get deep into the video, please make sure to follow me on mixer.com/invade, where we have over 227,000 followers and we ain't stopping, we only growing. But we gotta take over on this YouTube platform as well. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Invade. You guys can see the links below in the description. But without further ado, let's go deeper into the video and let's get started. All right, so let's talk about some of the fundamental problems that 2K has always had. If you're a 2K head, then you understand a lot of the issues that they've had their entire, I guess, like 2K career, for lack of better words. I don't know how to explain it, but we all know that they've had a lot of issues, right? So just to give you guys some history on what's happened with this game, right? For a long time, NBA Live was the go-to that everybody played. Okay, it was the go-to. That's all that anybody even talked about. And even me, I was playing NBA Live for a long time, but I didn't start playing like heavy 2K until like 2K10, 2K11, which are like the golden years if you played back then. I've been playing 2K since 2K7, but I also played live as well. But 2K10 was the beginning of a blissful period for basketball fans. It was the first time that my career was brought into the picture. It was the first time that crew mode, which is now known as Pro-Am, was brought into the picture. And that was like the stepping stone of greatness. This is before VC was even conjured as an idea. It was just like, yo, what the heck? We just got a game that we can go and you can build a character and you can play in my career, and wait, you can go to the G League, or G League now. Then it was D League, if you play bad and all this type of stuff. And you had to actually grind to get your stats up. It wasn't a you can just buy VC and immediately get to 85. No, you started at 67 and you had to work your way up. And although the game had a lot of issues, it still was a stepping stone that 2K took that generally shocked the basketball community around the world. And then they one-upped it when they took it to 2K11, which went even better. The gameplay, the simulation, everything, even though it wasn't perfect, it was a game that generally everybody back in the day remembers as being one of the greatest 2Ks. And I'm in agreement with that. I generally love 2K11, and I don't think there's been a game that has even gotten close to topping it, unless you want to speak 2K15, maybe 2K16. But let's not talk about those games, and let's not talk about all that. Let's get right back into what we're talking about today. Is NBA 2K20 going to be a good game? So some of the fundamental issues that 2K's had in general, right? Let's just talk about it. The latency being one of them. Their unbalanced characters or archetypes that they have, that's being one of them. The VC issue being one of them, where everything is, it seems like you have to buy VC for everything just to be able to get things, or to buy stats or things like that. And it's something that's constantly been a problem in 2K since, godly, I want to say probably 15, except it seems that it's only gotten worse as we get older. And I was talking to my stream about this not too long ago, and I was saying that in general you have two options in 2K, right? Let's just talk 19 for a little bit, right? So 19, and this is 18, 17, 16, 15 too, right? We don't have to just say 19, right? But let's just talk 19 for a sec, right? For somebody who wants to play a basketball game, who are diehard basketball fans, right? You go out here, you spend $60 to buy the game, okay? Cool. That's a normal cost to buy the game. Okay, cool. But then 2K adds in a way to where they say, okay, if you want to be good off rip, and that doesn't mean skill level, that doesn't mean stick skills or anything like that. Just my attributes are good to where I can go in the park, I can shoot an open three, and 65% out of the time I'll make it just because my attributes are where it's at, right? I say 65% for the new people, right? Now, if you're good at the game, if you come off rip with 85 overall, you're typically, if you're good at the game, you're probably going to be killing people right out the back. It's just how it works. But for the new people, you have that option to go straight to 85. And let's just say generously, 65% of the time, if you shoot an open shot or you shoot a mid range that's open or whatever, you're probably going to make it if you have some type of ability to for lack of better words, time your shots, right? To time your shots. The problem is the people who don't have that ability, right? So you buy the game at $60, you have to pay $60 again, or at least $50 to $60 again, just to have yourself be an 85 to be able to compete with other players, right? So if you say to yourself in a multiplayer game, I want to go to park and I want to play against other people, but in order for me to be comp to a degree, I have to spend another $60. That's a fundamental flaw in this game, is that they're basically saying that if you want to be good in park off rip, spend another $50, because I can guarantee you a 65 overall, even in the best players' hands, will struggle against people who know what they're doing if they are an 85 overall and they spent their VC, which causes a big issue. Why? Because it turns into, do we do this or do we not do this? And the problem with that is the people that try to say, okay, I'm just going to grind my career and try to get my stats up that way, they can play the game nonstop and it will still take them so many hours to get to an 85 overall, bump 90 and 92, 93, and whatever you want to call it after that, bump that. But let's just talk about in general, because VC earned in game, I mean, let's just be honest, chat, it's dog meat. It's completely dog meat. It's terrible. So the standpoint that they have is that you have to essentially buy this stuff to be incredible off rip, to even have a chance to even play the game off rip, to be able to say, okay, I want to go to the park and experience the park off rip without getting my butt smacked because I'm a 65 overall. And that's unfortunately part of the game. Is that going to change in 2K20? Probably not. So for me, that's an X already, because you're off rip asking other people to spend money off of that. So let's talk the NBA 2K20 demo as well, right? As we go into that, we understand that the demo is supposed to be a way for us to be able to test our builds, do all this type of stuff, right? We didn't have the opportunity to do so. The pie charts, we learned they weren't even, all of them aren't even in the game that were in the demo. So that's a bust right there. Number two, we didn't get to put on our six. And number three, we didn't get to put on a signature jump shot. And number four, it was also on rookie. And number five, we only got to play one game with our archetype before we even got to even really to test if the archetype was even good. So the overall demo, complete L, because it didn't really give us any opportunity to test anything. We've heard things saying that they're going to give us custom pie charts. We're hearing all of this type of stuff, right? So we didn't even really get to test the game. Well, that's another reason to say, oh my God, like, okay, we don't even know if the game's going to be good. In the game, the demo didn't really tell us if it was going to be good, because the demo felt sluggish. So if you're going off of the demo, then you're holding an L right there anyway. Go to number three, right? Latency. And I could talk about that over and over again. But the truth of the matter is, it feels like year after year after year, 2K has never invested into their servers. Every year we go into the game of 2K. This has happened every year. We go into it. You know that there's going to be a barrage of people trying to play your game at the release because of how the game is. It's the one basketball game that everybody plays. Everybody knows that. So how do you not prepare your servers for that? Better yet, how do you not invest into new servers? 2K gets millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every year from VC, from my team, from my career players, from neighborhood players. They get millions of dollars from all of us that constantly buy in to whatever that they're trying to get us to buy into. And we do it every year. Even though we hate it, we do it every year, which is probably why they don't change it. But the point is, why aren't you focusing on fixing the core value of your game before you go out and you add these other things? I don't understand why they haven't decided to do that, which brings me to my fourth issue that we have here. They do not fix the core value of their game. What they work on doing is they work on adding in dodgeball. They work on adding in cages. They work in adding in these weird modes that nobody really cares about. If you're gonna be honest, nobody really cares about, but they add them in anyway. And the problem is we have a basketball game that does not feel like a basketball game, that they will say they want to get back to making a real basketball game. Well, if that is the case, why don't you focus on the core value of your game, the core gameplay of your game, before venturing out and using your developers on all this other stuff? That is the core issue that we have with this game. For instance, why is it that 2K does not fly out the Stizos, the Swantes, these crazy dribble guys? I am not one of them. These crazy dribble guys that have the ability to, in a sense, break the game from what they learn on how to do, and have them say, okay, you know what, in 2K21, you know, this is where we're at right now. We want you to find every possible way. Send them out for 3 days. We want you to find every possible way to break this game. We want you to find a way to find all the broken moves that are disgusting so that we can fix them now, right? They don't do that. So what happens is you come out with these games that are supposed to be realistically a basketball game, but you come out with people doing freaking crossovers, doing a spin move that takes you halfway across the freaking court that gets you wide open, that nobody in the NBA would do, which is then masked as stick skills. And do not get me wrong, is it considered stick skill because you're using the stick to do it? Yes. So they would say ISO gods, but that's not an actual basketball play. So even though it's available in the game, it's not basketball. So why is it in the game? Why is that move still available in 2K20? And a lot of people are going to say, well, you sound like somebody who's complaining and doesn't know how to do it, and because you don't know how to do it, you're hating it. No, that's not it. It's not that I don't know how to do it or that I hate it because of that or anything along the lines of that. If you can do it, cool beans, man. I'm happy for you that you can do it. I'm going to still beat you, especially if I get my squad. I'm going to beat you because our defense is impeccable. So I'm going to still beat you. But it's just the fact that it's an option that you can use that isn't a basketball play that annoys me. Think about it. This year in 2K19, what was the comp format, right? Let's talk comp format. If you played threes, which a lot of people don't play threes, which just pains me because I love threes and I think twos is a glitchy 1v1 scenario for the most part. And I don't like 1v1 scenarios, the same reason why I don't like comp in threes, right? If you were considered comp in threes was, I'm going to bring down somebody who knows how to ISO like crazy. I'm going to send a stretch, or I'm going to send a lockdown, or I'm going to send a glass cleaning, or I'm going to send a sharp rim, and I'm going to have them go to the baseline, literally the baseline. I'm going to have my ISO god at the top, ISO. And if you can't guard him, GG, right? But the problem with that, which is not even a bad scenario, because people will say, okay, well, what about ISO, Vay? That's ISO in the NBA. So why are you mad that we can ISO in here? Wrong. I'm not mad that you can ISO here. What I am mad about is that 2K is asking you to guard this person for 24 seconds straight. Why? Because there's an infinite amount of stamina in 19. So if I'm watching some guy go woo, 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 for 24 seconds and a lockdown defender, you're asking a lockdown defender who, yes, can spam X, which is not okay either, needs to be looked at too, but who, yes, can spam X to guard this person for 24 seconds, who does not run out of energy. That is insane to ask. James Harden, Carmelo Anthony, Kobe Bryant, AI, all of these best ISO people that we know in the NBA didn't run on limitless energy. Like they got tired, and that is never the case in Park. And so it essentially became whoever gets the stop first wins the game, which is stupid to me. I don't think it should always be, can I have this person, can this person stop you, and this person stops you, then we win the game. I don't like that. I feel like it should be played like an actual basketball game. I would like to see more pick and roll situations without the LT being a thing. I'd like to see flare screens being in Park. I would like to see a 3v3 game as I go to the rec be a 3v3 game, actual ball movement. But comp literally became 2 lockdowns and an ISO god, and that's not basketball. And now you're telling me, as you're bringing in 2K20 Pro-Am with a 3v3, that's what it's all going to be again, unless the stamina is looked at, unless lockdowns are looked at, who can steal the ball immediately if they even tap the X button. God forbid you're a pure sharpshooter. I was holding left trigger and I still got the ball stolen as a pure sharpshooter. So the overall game value in general, I am generally scared about. I'm excited for 2K20 because, God, it's another new basketball game. Okay, I don't care that the neighborhood looks generally the same. I can care less about that. I care about the core value of the gameplay. The game will be good if latency gets looked at, if they looked at the archetype system and really redid it the way it's supposed to be done, if they looked at certain archetypes in general and redid it and discussed how they're supposed to be done. They looked at the stamina and things like that. If they looked at all of that type of stuff, then we will have a generally good game. The problem is that they typically don't do that. They focus on the graphical output. They focus on the bells and whistles. Oh, we got dodgeball. Oh, we got trivia. Oh, we got the ability to change scenery this year. Oh, we got cages back. Oh, we got Gold Rush. Oh, we got this new court. Oh, we got that new court. Oh, we got Pro-Am 3v3. Oh, we got, and they throw in all this other stuff to mask that, right? But here's the problem, right? When all of that is looked at, all of that goes, right? Because we're going to see all of that within the first week. We're going to see the seasonal changes and all that type of stuff. When all of that gets looked at, the end of the product is your game, your gameplay value. This is why fighting games are totally different versus like a 2K basketball game. A fighting game, they will add in a ton of characters. They'll look at graphical output. They'll look at all this type of stuff. They'll look at latency. They'll make sure that most of the time that their net code is really good for people when it comes to fighting. Sometimes it's not. Most of the time they'll look at it. But at the end of the day, when all the graphics, like MK11, when all the graphics and all that stuff is gone, the core value is the gameplay. And what keeps people coming back is the gameplay. If you have another broken game like you did in 19, to a degree, it was fun, but it was still, come on, it was a step up. It was definitely a step from 18. Let's just be honest. 18 was the worst game ever. It was a step up from 18 for sure. But if you have another game where it's simply the same thing over and over again, you're going to have a dead game in October. You're going to have a dead game in November or December like you always do, which makes absolutely no sense the last few years, that in a couple of months, the game is dead. All right. And add freaking crossplay is freaking disgusting. If I had to say in general, do I think NBA 2K20 would be good? I have no idea. Every year they say the game is better. Every year they say they've improved this and that. And it remains to be seen. We really generally don't know if the game is going to be great or if it's going to be bad. I honestly don't know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We've already spent our $60 for it. And most of us are going to play the game, whether it's good or bad anyway. But the point is, we don't want to have to play it if it's bad. All right. We want to enjoy like we used to enjoy 15 and 16, right? We asked for parks back. They didn't give us parks. They did give us rep system. So that's a step in the right direction. Anyway, again, I don't know if the game is going to be good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And we'll just have to see what happens. The game comes out in 3 days, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys online. It's your boy Vade, and I'm out. Peace.